our doctor. Pretty soon we'll sell our brother. He took the gold, but the gold was water. I tried to save the world, but I failed. She cried the tears that I never left her. I left him all behind. He was sitting in your darkest hour. Oh, summer's gone. We tried to make the world so much better. We said our words in a pretty perfume letter. You sit alone in your ivory towers. I'm just one person, I don't matter. You tapped the needle and you went to heaven. You left it all behind. Now you're feeling oh so better. won't take you there. It's not salvation on its way.
Good morning. What is up, Nexus? How fucking long has it been since I have done a live? Not long. Somebody give me a sound check, please. So I at least know that shit's working. I'm looking at stream chat right now. Somebody's typing. That is good. All right, let's get to. Let's see. Give it a few more minutes. Music is loud. It'll like a little louder, music a little less. Is it still loud? I turned the music down. How about that? I can't even hear it. Move the mic a little bit louder. How is that? Is that good? I'm kind of bordering on the yellow here. Go there. How about that?
You can't have me. Well, maybe just tonight. No, I
Can't hear me at all? Shut up, bro.
No way.
Really? Come on, man. Don't fuck with me, Nisa. What the fuck? Music is loud. How about I turn the music off? How's that? Is that better? Just turn the music off. That is so gay. I don't know how much better it can get if I turn the mic all the way up. Really? Y'all need to turn your shit up, Neeser. All right, let's get to it. I've had this volume profile drawn out for a little while, and I'm happy to see that Raven had the same profile drawn out on his chart a couple days ago. I think it was Monday. He pasted it, and I was like, oh shit, dude's got the same thing I do. It's fucking rad. Okay. All good. All right. Sound is good. Thanks. So, you know me, like to trade volume profiles. Keep it simple. We've been fighting with this value area low here for a little while, you know, like since Monday evening for me, 9 p.m. We kind of came down, had our move down. So from the low, okay, 80K to the high up here, and you can pull this fib from either one of these 2 points. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it does if you want to get super precise, but we came down into the golden pocket, okay, on Monday and Tuesday, tested that out. I am waiting for here, okay, I'm waiting for this 786, and if we start losing this, then I'm pretty sure we're going to come down to this low. We'll fill in this 4-hour demand finally. Maybe do a little something like, you know, we fuck around up here a little bit and then take out Monday's low, and in the process do something like this, or come all the way down and sweep this low here and then do something like that. But we haven't had the greatest of reactions from this golden pocket area. Okay. So that leads me to believe if we don't V-shape out of here like we did here, you know, something like this, then we're going to see at the very least Monday's low go or come down into the 786. We're either going to front run it. Sometimes we do that, front run it, take it, or then head all the way down to this low. We'll have to see what ACE is looking like at that point. Okay. Yeah, I got a big arrow here because I want to show you guys what the weekly looks like. And I had to remind me, if I forget, if I remove this arrow, I won't look at the weekly. But as of right now, you know, I preach with ACE. 4-hour money flow is obviously, we can see what it looks like. It looks like fucking dog shit. Okay. Completely in the red. We get these momentum moves up and we start selling off. Okay. I mean, even on the lower time frames, it's super sideways. So money flow is like, you know, red, a little bit of green, and we stick back in the red and a little bit of green. So it's very, and then we're moving down in that process. Okay. That tells me we are bearish. Okay. Uber bearish. So 150 minute, 2.5 hours roughly. Same thing. Money flow is super thick in the red. And again, you get these moves up. Yesterday, we got the little move up and then it gets slapped down. So half of the 150 is the 80 minute. It's going to show the same thing. Money flow still in the red, but eking up a little bit. Perspective. All right, 256 minutes going to show, you know, pretty close to what the 4-hour is. Same thing. Let's go to the 8-hour. Okay. It's going to be ugly also. Money flow is so far down here. 12-hour. Same thing. So what I'm looking at on the lower time frames, We have order blocks below us and above us. We have a 15-minute demand down here from overnight. We created this 15-minute demand. We also have this 10-minute right down here. Okay, so I don't necessarily like this 15-minute demand as much as I like this 10 minutes, simply because we have Monday's low right here. So if I see any sort of structure down here, you know, New York likes to fake up or fake down and then pump it up or take it down, then this is something that I'm really looking for a Monday trade. Okay, last week we had like 5 Monday trades, 4 or 5 Monday trade ranges. Okay, we came and took the low, we went to the high, we came and took the low again, took the high. I mean, it was absolutely amazing how that happened here with all these Bart Simpsons. Boom, low, high again, came back down. I mean, it was this range created Monday's low. Yeah, here was Monday's low, came and took it. Monday night, Monday's high, took that, came back down, took Monday's low again, Monday's high. I mean, it was just amazing how many Monday range trades there were. Now, is it going to happen again this week? Probably not. It's already, I mean, we had 3-4 Monday range trades by Thursday, and it's already Wednesday, and we haven't taken out either low or the high. And it's a $3,000 range also, okay? 85, 89, so almost it's almost a $5,000 range. So that's a huge range. And this range over here was a little bit smaller. And it looks like we want to come up to this high. I'm not going to lie. We were talking about this. You guys were talking about this yesterday. Okay. And we have single prints. We have fair value gap. We never came up and tapped this fair value gap. We did. There was a lot of issues up here. We had our daily open, we had our weekly open, and sure as shit, you know, back over in here yesterday morning when White Phoenix was talking about possibly getting up into this fair value gap, and if we got up into here, then we were most likely going to come up and take this high. Okay, 90K. He was not wrong, but I don't think he remembered our weekly open was here, and we came up and tapped the weekly open. Legit just came up right into it, completely rejected, went sideways all night, afternoon yesterday for me, and then London took it down, or Asia took it down. Sorry, Asia took it down. London brought it back up kind of to where we're at now. So, 5 minute, we'll come down to the 5 minute and see what we're looking like. You know, ACE is wanting to flip green, okay? The higher time frames is where it's running into these roadblocks, okay, with money flow and pressure so far into the red and in negative to where it's at. 4 hour is super deep pressure and money flow. I mean, it's just, we get moves up and then it just gets slapped back down. It is holding price pretty well overall, okay? It's not like we're getting crushed on anything bearish, you know? We get these moves up here and then it just gets totally killed. Our range is getting smaller, okay? So the sell pressure is getting less, okay? And when that happens and the sells just get absorbed, then we start making our way up, okay? And these resistance areas here and here are less affected, okay? The bullish sentiment and the bullishness, you know, it kind of goes away a little bit, and we can start, you know, looking towards the upside. But I don't think until we get above this daily open and weekly open area here I don't really think that we are going to see a fill of this volume profile, at least in the next week or 10 days, unless we can, at least get above this weekly open. And then we got to worry about this value area low here, okay, of this entire yearly profile, okay, this profile that started back in November of 2024. This value area low is kind of where we've been fucking around with here for a little while. Okay, we get up into it and then get rejected, and we just play around here. Would really, really like to see us at least get up into this value area low and point of control area that Gio's been talking about. This POC at 96K, he's not wrong. Okay, he's not wrong to think about this area here. Okay, we have all of these shorts and these stops all up here and all this liquidity. Okay, he's wanting to get up here and get up into this 96K area. Okay, and we flip this, then we can start thinking about making our way back up to this value area high of this big profile here. Okay, but first we have to get above this value area low, okay, for this overall huge profile that we've been in for over a year. It's freaking insane. The 4 hour is not looking terrible. Okay, the 4 hour is not looking terrible as far as momentum goes. So, money flow needs to start making its way back up. And the only way that that's going to happen is if these lower time frames can keep moving in the direction of positive money flow. Okay, we get up into the green, and then the higher, like I said, the higher time frames just slap it down because everything is super duper bearish. Okay, now money flow is waning here on the 90-minute, which isn't bad. Once VWAP gets up here to a certain area, then it is going to start making its way back down to the zero line. Okay, now once it's above the zero line, we could keep making our way up, but the move starts to lose its steam once VWAP starts getting back towards zero. Once it starts hitting zero again, then it's when we start seeing these big moves back down. So that's pretty much what's been going on as far as an ace perspective of the market, since Monday, since a few days ago. So we got this big move down, from 90, and then we get all the way back down, $5,000 move, within 3 or 4 hours, and then try to recover and get some of that back. So that honestly is pretty much where we are at now. We're just trying to make our way out of this hole that BTC has been in for a while now. We're finally starting to get some legs here on this very super local profile here. If we can remain above this, then very much so could see, 89, 90K if we can make our way back up into this fair value gap here. I feel that if we get above weekly open, we could get on up here to 89.3, 89, 90K. Now I wanted to show you all the weekly. And this right here and what it looks like comparatively to over here. Yeah, 90K looks like a good target. I agree. I would not be surprised at all if New York takes us up there rather quickly today. But the weekly does not give us any sort of bullish, at least for me, the way that this looks with pressure coming out, money flow still super red, and VWAP pretty much at the zero line. VWAP's at 0.9. So I could imagine if we stay down in the area of 85, 86, 87K, that this VWAP is going to start wanting to cross over into the zero line. And when we see that, you know, guys, it just doesn't look, we get moves like, you know, like this. If we start printing another red dot over here, man, I don't know. We could be in this sort of structure area here where momentum is kind of farting around. We're getting some, you know, red dot, green dot games right off the bat. Red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, 4 weeks in a row here. You know, then we could see something like this. We have been trading underneath this 50 on the weekly for a while. So I would have to say that we are, you know, going to range like we did over here, just a little bit smaller of a range, and see some sort of move up towards 100K eventually, kind of do a fake out of this 50 moving average. And then once momentum starts to turn on us, then we start looking for something like this here. But this range here could take, you know, a couple more weeks to resolve, at least start to resolve itself back up. I do plan. So Alex, to answer your question, I do plan on getting a test of this 50 moving average up here on the weekly. Okay. And right now it's at 98.5. And last week it was at 99. So we're moving about $400 south every week, which isn't much. And I'd imagine this week is probably going to move down a little bit less. So after 90K, I honestly think that we start making our way back up towards this 50 moving average to test it out. That's me. I don't discount a move back down after 90K. There really isn't much above us as far as supply. You know, there isn't much above us. Honestly, we can, you know, on a higher time frame, 4 hour, 2 hour, we have, you know, 110 up here for a 4 hour. I don't even think we have a daily up there. Super high up, 111. I can't see us making our way back up there. I really, really can't, you know. Bear markets. This is this fib pull right here is all-time high down to 80K. And usually we barely make it up to this before we start making our way back down. And this is the 382 here. So, you know, 98, that 50 moving average on the weekly. This is all right in this area here. I'm sorry, not the 0.5 fib here. Okay, the 382 for the weekly. Yeah, honestly, that's what happened right here. Okay, if you pull a fib, I mean, it barely came up into that 382 area. This is the 382. I mean, that's a very shitty move from the bottom all the way back up. Coming up to the 382 is like fucking nothing for Bitcoin. You know, I mean, we're not even in that area yet. We haven't even come up close to that 382 yet, which is way up here at 98K. I mean, it's like, you know, to give you some sort of a perspective on previous bear markets, when we had an all-time high, and then when we made our low, it comes up to the 382, and then look at what happens after that. It just, you know, in a 382 move is a 38% move. You know, it's fucking ridiculous. That's nothing. So, and we've been spending a lot of time down here, just like we did back in 2021, 2022. I'm sorry. Yeah. The end of 2021, beginning of 2022. So, you know, as far as context and perspective from, you know, this all-time high down to the low here, and the move that has gone on here is very lackluster. Very, very, this little shit right here is nothing, is like, there's nobody buying right now. So that's overall, that's kind of like a higher time frame. I mean, it could take another couple of weeks at least to get up here, minimum. I mean, we could just fart around in this range here for a while, and then, you know, next year, end of January, beginning of February, make our way up here, kind of act like we're gonna get above here, and you know, the 382 is a stopping point. It's a very big area of interest for me. If we start getting above it and head up to the 50 here, then it's going to get my attention, because it hasn't necessarily done that before. We get above the 382 and start making our way up into 100K, then hopefully at some point we're all long, and we're long from in the area we're in now, wherever that may be. If we come even down into this 12-hour order block, and then make our way back up towards this 382, hopefully we're long, and we're looking for shorts. Everybody's long. You know, we've TP'd a few times, but we have a moon bag, and then we start looking for shorts somewhere in this area. However, if we keep making our way back up, then we're still long, and we're up here. And then if Bitcoin decides to make a full run, then, and, you know, decides to do some shit that it hasn't ever done before again, and we start wanting to make our way back up here, then we're still long. We just trade how we trade. We're not going to try and predict how things are going to happen here. We're just going to react off of price action and how we normally do it. But, you know, we can always have areas of interest when things happen. So plan one is to hopefully eventually get up here into the 98K range, test that 50 moving average. And then if we start dying off, then we'll make our way back down here, and we'll have our support resistance areas. We'll have some order blocks and all that kind of stuff to look at, and go from there. But doesn't look great. You know, we are getting a daily green dot printing here on ACE. That's not a terrible sign when that happens. We have some sort of I'd want to say this is more like, you know, it is bullish here. Our momentum came way down here, and we do have a bull div here. It's more like a Model 2 type of bull div, where, you know, we came and matched. You know, yesterday's daily closed above these lows here, where you know, we got something like this here, and then we held this low, which is not terrible. So I wouldn't be shocked if we actually came up and made an attempt to come up for these highs up here at 90K, get up into this point of control here. So it's going to be an interesting morning in about 15 minutes. 30 and 45-minute order block up here. We're going to get a reaction here. Let's see what, let's look at USDT dominance. So the opposite happens here, okay? Money flows super thick in the green. We get our little moves down, and then it just gets bought back up. Same thing like happened over here, okay? Super thick money flow moves down. Once we start seeing VWAP head back up to the upside is when we start getting these moves up. So we got a red dot printing on the 4-hour. Not shocked if we come, you know, somewhere back down towards weekly open again. We have this area here that I remember back in November, I was talking about this area being super important because of this right here. I just didn't extend it. Let me, this is why I pulled that. We did get a nice little reaction, but then we just pushed right through it. And now we're fighting with these highs here. But man, if we get above here, if we can get above and hold this area here, as support, we get above that, then, I mean, look at what happens. It comes straight down here. So I would imagine that if we can hold the area that we're in, you know, stay above, let's say 6.2%, maybe a little bit further down at 6.15 area, we can hold that. Let's move this down to here. Hold this box, then I could see us making a run to, you know, 8.5% up here. Fuck. That's gonna totally destroy the market, but I'm not saying that's gonna happen today, but you know, that's bear market shit. That's like, you know, BTC heading down somewhere around in this range, get back into this old range from you know, early to mid to the end of 2024, coming back down and testing out all of this. We can get into that later, but like I said, I'm expecting something up here at the 98K range before we do any of that. So as far as today goes, my plan is another test of this weekly open. I believe we're probably going to get it as long as we get above daily open, okay, which we're at right now. My plan would be if we reject here where we're at daily open right now, then get above daily open, test weekly open. We could, range around in here for a bit. You know what New York's going to do? They're going to boom, boom, or boom, boom. They're going to give us some sort of reaction right off of daily open or New York open. We can hold these two levels here, then I would not be surprised if we come up for Monday's high. And maybe get up into this monthly open. So let's see what happens. If they decide to just completely dump it, we have this 15-minute, and then we have this 10-minute down here with, getting through the golden pocket Monday low. Being right in the middle of the range is a bummer. So like I said, I'm looking more for something like this. And, we can do something like that, get our stop below this order block. And then again, target like Monday's mid again. And then we can do a second one somewhere down in here. And then a third one, fuck, way down here. Eesh, I don't know if I don't know if we're gonna see any of that. But this is more of a TBD deal here. See what price action does. But these are some spots that I'm looking for. And then for shorts, somewhere around here. I think the shorts are going to be more of a scalp than anything. Look at something like that first. See what happens with PA. If we can hold this weekly open, then I think our next stop would be like 89. But I'm definitely not doing anything in the range that we're currently in. Maybe look at something like super local. If that's our high, then you could do something like this. Look at this local value area low here and do something like that. Quick scalp. Daily open again. I don't know, but that's super sketchy because you have that 15-minute order block down here that they're probably going to come for. And then you got this one here that we just created, and then this one here. So, and then you got this one here. So we're creating order blocks as we're heading up. We got another one right here. So these are uber local. So good signs. We're creating order blocks on our way up, and we're not taking them out as we make our way up. So good sign that we're most likely going to make our way up. I wouldn't be surprised if we came up into this weekly open again. We already hit it yesterday. If we make our way back up here, get above daily open, we're going to hit weekly open, and then most likely maybe just range here a little bit, fake out, boom, head back up out. So we'll have to see what happens here in New York. But those are kind of my thoughts for today. Do I got anything else? Ethereum. Ethereum's been a bit weaker. Then Bitcoin. Alts have been a little bit weaker. Oh shit. Man, I don't know if I just don't know if I would be involved in any Ethereum trade versus Bitcoin. I think I would trade BTC more than I would Ethereum, that's for sure. Man, others just doesn't look great right now as far as alts go. So let's see what Bitcoin dominance looks like. Yeah, Jesus. Oh. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance. Me and Gio were talking about this. I think what me and Corey and Gio, we were looking at this daily order block. I'm going to set an alert here. I'm going to set an alert right here at the bottom of this order block. I'm pretty sure we're going to start heading up into this. We're going to hit this order block, this daily order block on dominance. And once we do get that alert, I'll let everybody know, but I don't think it's time for alts. I don't think it's time for alts yet. We need to see what happens when we get to this daily order block for Bitcoin dominance. And then, maybe we even come up and take out half of it here, like it likes to do with dailies. Takes out half of the order block. I'm going to set another alert there. We'll have to see. VWAP is up. However, it's still above the zero line, and it could do something when VWAP starts heading down. We still kind of move up just a little bit. So if VWAP's going to start making its way sideways and down, then we very well just could tap into that order block and then die. So it just depends on what the chart looks like. If it's going to be bearish, then alts might not dump as much as Bitcoin is, or if it's going to be bullish, then alts are going to pump a little bit more. So we'll keep our eye on dominance as far as that goes. But yeah, money flow is in the red. It's not super duper in the red, but it is in the red. So, and it has been for a month. So yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts for today. White Phoenix had some little bit of family issues overnight, and everything's good to go with that though, but he need to get some rest. He's been up all night. I'm sure he'll be back tomorrow. So that's all I got, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Let's see what New York Open does here in the next couple minutes. All right. Trade safe.